Oh, guys. I mean, I'm here. I didn't slit my throat. Um, we lost a game that going into it, I said is a disgrace. The way it played out, for me, disgraceful. Arsenal deserved it. But Man United, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, they got to take a long, hard look at themselves. How did we lose this game? And I don't mean on the balance of play. I mean the players on show, the aspirations of the club. How did we lose this game? The form coming into it. How did we lose this game? Not good enough. Just not good enough. Someone here is happy. Someone here is happy. It's not me. I'm joined by Ramsey, of course. Listen, 14 years since you did it. Adebayor, 2006. Aubameyang, 2020. You won at Old Trafford against all odds. Let's be honest. Against all odds, you won at Old Trafford. You must be delighted with that.
Boy, you know what? Normally in a league game, I don't get disgusted over a win. I don't genuinely because most of the time we're winning. We win at home. We might get a big win against United at home. You know what I mean? We might be a smaller team away, but winning away at a top six club does not come often at all. So I am absolutely ecstatic with that result, and not just the result. The performance was brilliant, literally to a T. In a week where there's so many question marks coming into this game, can you create chances? Are you going to be able to score goals? Is the formation going to be right for Arsenal? How is Thomas Partey going to fit in his team? And Aubameyang's not scored. The questions on Arteta's head. He must have been so stressed out knowing that we got Manchester United and knowing that we've lost two big away games, and the pressure was on even more for him. But now you look back and you say, we've beaten Manchester United twice, Arteta, home and away in the league. You know, you've beaten Liverpool in the league, you've beaten Man City and Chelsea in the cups. It's just another level. It's not another thing on his armory. And I'm not gonna say we're gonna go and do amazing. Because I didn't even think we're gonna win today. But this was literally the performance I wanted in an away game for such a long time. Such a long time. Even been at Spurs and not seeing things like this. I said it at half time. I was like, and we'll digress in the game, but I was like, if we don't win this, in my head I'm thinking, when are we going to do it? Because we played so well.
I was going to ask because you mentioned in terms of obviously question marks about creating chances, but in the first half, like in the first half against Leicester, you created a number of chances. You had there was a cross that went across the box. Aubameyang didn't get to the back post. Willian's shot hit the bar. There was a Lacazette. Well, it wasn't really a chance, but Lindelof just got a toe in before it fell to him. And then right at the end of the half, Saka had a golden opportunity to take the lead. And at that point, like Man United fan, I'm like, listen, we're lucky to go in at 0-0. Let's change something. And Arsenal fans must have been like, how are we behind? No, not how we, but sorry, how are we not winning this game? You know, are we going to get another opportunity to really to take the lead and to win the game?
Yeah.
And then we came out the second half. Actually, let's go back to the first half first and foremost. In terms of the way that you lot played, what were you most pleased about in that first half? I think it's pretty obvious, but
it was, you know what it was? It was Arteta's game plan to a T, but worked well. I think we tried to do it against Liverpool, but we gave them the ball too much. We tried to do it against City. I think we probably paid them a bit too much respect, and we got it wrong in the top end. I said that at the time with Willian, and I think we all knew that we got it wrong at the top end as well. With the game today, it was a case of we played three at the back, but it wasn't a five rigid sit behind the ball, especially in the first half. It was literally a high pressing 3-4-3. Like we had a bank of three, and in Willian, Aubameyang, and Lacazette in front of your back four. And it was just cutting out everything in the middle. And the one thing I remember saying this in the preview, the one thing I said is, if you play a diamond and we played a 3-4-3, we could cut that middle out because there's no width there's no one wide. And that was literally it. I don't know if Arteta knew what Man United were going to do, but I think when he saw the lineup, he probably thought, okay.
Well, the thing is, I think the 3-4-3 that you played it pretty much all season. You know, game here, game there. So I think regardless of what we were going to do, he would have played that formation anyway.
He would have done that.
Tactically, he tells his team, it looks like they're setting up in the diamond. If they are, these are the positions that you need to pick up. And I think they did that brilliantly. For me, it was the pressing. The pressing is
from everyone.
What won you the first half of, and from everyone, yes, but specifically the front three, because we couldn't pass out. We couldn't get out of our defensive third unless we went long. And I think there was one time, I think it was about halfway through the first half, maybe just for 20 minutes or so, and the long ball to Rashford. I remember the commentator saying, like, this is like the first time Man United's got out in X amount of time, and it's just a long ball up to the big man. I was like, well, he's not the big man, but I hear you. Like, the pressing was, for me, was the key in that first half. And as you said, of course, we don't have the width, other than from the fullbacks who aren't pushing up as high. And you did, I think that's where you won the game, and it allowed you to be on the front foot. Because if we beat the first press, then you have to drop back and get into your positions. And you really, not enough. We didn't beat the first press enough. There was one time that we broke it, and Rashford putting that brilliant ball across. I mean, that was a fabulous ball right to the back post.
We got caught out with a quick free kick.
Oh yes. A brilliant ball. That was it. That's the only chance we created in the first half. And I think we were like, something has to change, because you're winning the ball high up. We weren't able to get into our passing rhythm. So even for me, even without the width, I'm just like, people taking too many touches of the ball. Pogba's taking too many touches in the ball in dangerous position. Fred's passing was awful. McTominay kept coming deep. It's like he was reverting to his type. Like, he's a defensive box-to-box midfielder. And he just kept coming inside. Bruno ended up coming deep as well to pick up the ball, because I said we just couldn't beat the first press. So it's like, Pogba's like, all right, let me come there and try to do it. And for me, it wasn't good enough. And he obviously, his second half came now. He didn't make any substitutions, but he changed the shape. He went to a 4-2-3-1 with Greenwood on the right and Pogba on the left. And even though we weren't creating like chance after chance, I think we were like, we took control of the game again at that point. So I was like, cool. All right, now we're going to take control of the game. Now let's see if we can create some chances. And I think because you won the penalty about 70 minutes or so, wasn't it?
68, yeah.
68, yeah. So he scored about 70. I would say from about 45 minutes to about 62 minutes, we were controlling the second half.
First 15 minutes, yeah.
And then Arsenal got on the ball again. I think you had a cross from Tierney that De Gea pushed away. And then on the next attack, I mean, ridiculous challenge by Pogba. Absolutely ridiculous. It's the right back on the right-hand side of the area. It's not a goal threatening position. Of course, he can get a crossing, but it's such a risky challenge because you don't know what's behind you. Or maybe you do, but it's like you don't know where the man is actually. And you just stick your foot in. And the thing, when the ball's coming in, I'll say to myself, don't tackle. Because I could see a penalty. I could see it coming. And he makes that foolish challenge, gives away the penalty. And like, at that point, I'm just hoping. I'm not expecting. I'm just hoping that either De Gea can save the penalty or we're going to find a way to get back in the game. But we just didn't create enough. We did not create enough.
I think in the second half, it became this is the whole problem. This is what I said at halftime. I just hope we see it through. And we knew that there's absolutely no way Man United could play the same way that they played in that first half. There's no way. And even though it wasn't a marginal improvement, there was definitely an improvement in terms of you had 3 shots like the first 5 minutes. Maguire had a couple of headers.
I thought I was going in, man.
Yeah, it was and that was the thing. It was just all of a sudden, and you knew it was going to happen because, as I said, you couldn't be the same. And I think you had the first shot was in like the first 15 seconds. It was straight in, bam, and then we weathered it. And I think that's the main thing. You weather it up, you see it up, you soak it up a bit. You might get pressed back, and then you go back the other end. And I think it just fell nicely for us that we had the momentum. We had a cross pushed away. I think Partey had a long range shot, and David De Gea caught it. It wasn't massive, but it was a case of, all right, we're now on the front foot again. And I remember Gary Neville saying in commentary, someone's going to score. You could just tell that it could be one mistake, it could be one thing, but
Yeah,
you just like,
because this wasn't like the Chelsea game for me. I don't know if you watched the Man United Chelsea game, like the
yeah,
full
yeah,
90
yeah,
minutes, and it wasn't like that. That game, it was stale. It was like if someone scores, you're probably surprised more than anything.
yeah,
This
yeah.
one, someone's going to score.
A
Someone,
goal was coming. A goal
because
was
I
coming.
felt
Yeah,
from the outset, and I think the onus on that, or the reason for that, was Arsenal's approach. Arsenal didn't come to the game like Chelsea did and just say,
yeah,
we're going to sit back and
yeah.
not even hit us on the counter attack. Like, they barely did anything.
Mm.
And you were more on the front foot than anyone expected. I think, to be fair, pretty much most people would expect. And then you kept on. You didn't, at that point, like say 60 odd minutes, and we're dominating the ball. He could, let's make a sub and bring on Mustafi or Xhaka and sit back deeper.
Yeah.
No, you didn't do that. You didn't. I know you didn't make a sub, but you carried on trying to go forward and trying to create something.
Yeah, and it was weird, but in the first, going back to the first half, the pressing was so good that Man United were just making mistakes. You were just Pogba, Bruno. And it's not obvious, it's not massive, not goal conceding mistakes, but it was just the simple.
Which is momentum as well. It's momentum.
Yeah, you can't build it. Yeah,
build anything.
Yeah, and it was just like getting the balls or get some fouls in there, and it was like a case of bringing the team forward. Like, and the reason I said it was everyone is because when you did break the lines, Gabriel was on to Rashford and Greenwood whenever they dropped deep. He was right behind them. In the end, got a yellow card for being too tight to them. But it was a case of press them wherever they are. So if Rashford's on the ball, go press them. And it's risky because Rashford and Greenwood got the pace to just spin a man and go. So it's high risk. But no, I feel like against Man City and Liverpool, we didn't go high risk. And we paid the price of just sitting deep and waiting and hoping. Whereas this game, we said, right, let's take it to Man United, press them.
And to be honest, I think if you're going to compare Liverpool, Man City, and Man United, then if of all those three, Man United's a team to do it against, because we're just not as good. We're just not as good.
Exactly. And it could have been to our detriment if we did it against Man City and Liverpool, because they're so good going the other way, especially Liverpool. In a way, like, we lost 3-1, but we could have been a lot more closer if we kept more tighter at the back. Whereas this game, as you said, especially, and I feel like no Martial was a big thing for you, because 100%. I feel like it forced the way you. Sorry, go on.
No, go on.
Oh, okay. It forced the way you played for me. I feel like Martial having in that squad just changes the dimension a bit, pushes us maybe back a couple of yards.
100%, because he can hold up the ball.
Yeah. Rashford and Greenwood wasn't.
They always were running behind, because a few times Greenwood got the ball, always back to goal, and he was just getting a bit like bullied around. To be honest, I think there was maybe one or twice I was thinking he should have got a free kick, but really and truly, a lot of time was just like strength, man to man, and you weren't strong enough. And he will learn that he'll grow in terms of that player. Rashford's not that player. Rashford's not a number 9. He's always going to be, from the inside forward, running behind. That's his game. So you play with a Martial, someone who's going to do that link, and you make that running behind and get onto it. And we didn't have that person to do that. I remember I said at the start of the season, I'm trying to think, was it on this? I don't know if it was on Neeks Sports or different. And like, who's your most important player this season? And I said Anthony Martial, because he offers us something up front that no one else does. No one else does. And so it's not about who's better here, who's better there. It's just about different options. And if everyone, you can say, oh, Greenwood's better finisher, Rashford's quicker, more dynamic. But if everyone's doing the same thing, then it's easier to defend against, because you're like, well, they're only going to run it behind. So we just have to stop them from having that time or whatever. Whereas Martial, you play Martial and someone else, you've got 2 feet, and he can run it behind. So I think, we definitely, we miss him today. But I can't use that as an excuse. Like, we had quality players on the pitch and quality players off the bench. We had quality. So Matic came on, Van der Beek came on, Cavani came on, but we just did not do enough in that second half. Based on the first half, we didn't deserve anything from that game. We were lucky to come out of the first half 0-0. But when you come out of it 0-0 now, you have to take that. You take that, we got away with it. Let's make sure it don't happen again. And we just didn't do enough. Let me go through some of these comments. Jeremiah, Arsenal fans acting like they won the league. I don't know. I haven't really seen any reactions apart from yours.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You have to be happy, and if we overreact, and I'm sure there'll be some AFTV clips tonight that'll be clipped, and man will be saying some outrageous things. But like, these things don't happen often, and we're hoping this is going to be a change going forward. We're hoping we can take it in, but that's our third away Big Six game. There's only two more left now: Chelsea and Spurs, wherever they are in the season. So we're hoping that and they're the easier ones of the six. You know what I mean? With Man City and Liverpool out of the way. But yeah, it's not an over exaggeration. It's a big win though. You said it before pre-game. Why would Arsenal end their how many years losing away from home against a big club to us? Why would it be us? Why should it be us today?
Exactly. And that's why I'm so angry, because it's like, say you got a result against Man City or Liverpool in the previous weeks. It's like, oh, all right, Arsenal got something about them. They ain't shown nothing about them in for us at Old Trafford 16 years, but away Big Six for 5 years. And I'm gonna come and say, oh yeah, Arsenal. No, go and win the game. Go and win the game. It's disgraceful. A disgrace.
And we've been there when times when we should have won the game, as we said. If I look at that back four that we played in 2006, it was Johan Juru, Eboué, Kolo Touré, and Gallas, which doesn't scream quality. But if you think about the amount of defenders that we've had from then till now, and to come away from Old Trafford with a clean sheet, it's
but it's funny, because even that game 2006, like in terms of going into the game, we were the better side, we were the favourites. Like Arsenal should have won that game, odds makers either. And you missed a penalty in that game as well, but then you got the late goal. But
Fabregas was sick in that game.
and again, what was it? It was pressing. He pressed on Ronaldo, won the ball back. And fed Adebayo. Let me see. 40 Live says Pogba shouldn't play for us again. I'm done with this guy. Glimpse of quality, no consistency. I agree with the last. Go on.
No, I just want to say I don't know what you think about Pogba. I want to say this before you say it, just so see what you think. For me, especially in the first half, because he played on the left of the diamond, it seemed like he was so high up, like as if sometimes he was playing like left wing, and it just was at his detriment in the first half. I think the second half he got more on the ball. He played a bit more central.
Detriment why?
Because he's not. Pogba was at his best for me in the middle of the park on the ball, looking to go.
I disagree. I think that's an excuse for Pogba. I'm not going to lie.
It's an excuse in a sense, but
I disagree. I'll tell you why I disagree. Because that is where everyone's been calling for Pogba to play on the left of a midfield three. Obviously, it's a diamond, so you still kind of got the midfield three with Bruno at the number 10, kind of false 9 position. And that position, when you've got McTominay and Fred, means that you shouldn't have to do as much defensive work. So it frees him of what people will say is his biggest issue. I mean, you see it with a penalty, but his biggest issue defensively. So he played in the same position when he came on against PSG, same position he played and started against Leipzig, and that's what he does. He gets on the ball in the left-hand side, and he ends up going left mid. I don't know if he was that high up, but he tends to go very wide, which I don't have a problem with personally. He just was not good enough. Like, he'll get the ball, and he does this, to be fair. But when it's higher up the pitch, it's not a massive problem. But Arsenal, I said, their press was starting from the front, and you dilly-dally on the ball, and you lose the ball, and he's always trying to. He never goes for the first time pass. He always wants to take a touch, shield where his man is, find where his man, and then go for a pass. By then, 2-3 mans around you, and you lost the ball. So I think the position he played in, for me, is his best position. Then in the second half, he went onto the left wing of a front three kind of thing, and he started coming in from the flank. I don't think the position he played had anything to do with performance. I do think he has an issue with consistency. And I mean, if I'm done with him, there's a lot of players that I can say exactly the same thing. Quality, no consistency. There's a lot of players in our team who have quality and don't have the consistency. Maybe not so much in the last year. We've been pretty good. But if we're looking at their last 2 years or so at Man United, there's always been a lack of consistency. So I'm not going to pin that on Pogba. But let's be honest, Pogba lost us the game because Arsenal had all the chances in the first half, missed them all. Second half, they didn't have that many chances. Like, how many saves did David De Gea make? Thomas Partey. Obviously, the penalty was scored.
Yeah, not many.
That was it. That was it. So I'm not saying Arsenal on the balance of play, Arsenal were the better side, and if anyone's going to win it, they deserve to. But the decisive moment was the stupid penalty. Giving away a penalty is one thing, but to make such a stupid challenge, at that area of the pitch, and at that moment of the game, I can't. Yeah, he's at fault for the loss. He's at
Yeah,
fault for he's a massive reason as to why we lost the game.
yeah.
Of course, we weren't good enough to actually go and win it. And Niche Thomas from Arsenal fan, honestly, Arsenal deserve the victory. United has some serious issues than what it seems to the eye. Well, let me know what those issues are. Let me know what those issues are that you're saying we can't actually see to the eye. Let me know. Let's see.
The Fred McTominay thing. It just didn't work for me. It
Well,
was a bit.
Go on.
I didn't really know where McTominay wanted to be, and it probably was the detriment to Fred. You've always said you didn't want Fred in the DM. Yeah. Maybe McTominay should have been there. And then I was surprised he stayed 90 minutes.
Who, McTominay? No, I wasn't massively surprised because Fred got a yellow card. And when he brought on Matic, like if Fred didn't have a yellow card, then I think you could have brought on Matic for McTominay. But yeah, especially if now we're trying to push for the game. And if Arsenal go on a counter, Fred's getting sent off. McTominay's got a booking in him in terms of he can give it away. But I think, I wouldn't have played Fred in the DM. He goes into his challenges. He likes to press. I don't understand why. I'm not totally surprised because when McTominay came on in the Leipzig game, he was playing on the right-hand side. And it was Fred into the DM, but I'm just like, I don't understand why you would do that. I know McTominay likes to get forward. Neither of them are natural box-to-box. So either way, neither of them are natural DMs. So even whoever you play there, there's going to be some kind of fault. But Fred in Fred's pressing is such his best attribute that you need him a bit higher up the pitch as opposed to that DM where really and truly you don't want him to press. That DM is just really there to shield. And then his passing isn't great either. So what is he offering in that position? That is the question. What is he offering in that position? And I think he's not offering that much. So yeah, I would have, as I said in the preview, I would go with Matic anyway, and Fred. But if not Matic, then McTominay in that position, not on the side that he wasn't. McTominay kept coming. He kept drifting inside to what would be his base position. Like that's where he likes to play. So yeah, that didn't work. Alpha Eagle. If I was a manager after today's performance, I would make every player come to train at 4 a.m. in the morning in the freezing cold rain and make them run 25k around the training ground. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I hear you. We got Istanbul soon, so they're not gonna be doing that.
One thing I do want to say that Arteta did stick to his guns with was Aubameyang. And again, you're not going to hear anyone talk about why isn't Aubameyang playing central in this game. He didn't have that's the thing. But Aubameyang, this is where I wanted him to play because Aubameyang wasn't left wing tight to the touchline. He wasn't with Wan-Bissaka. If anything, he was more towards Lindelof. And especially when we pressed, he was running towards Lindelof and letting Saka come in towards Wan-Bissaka, which is what I wanted originally, because what that means is that he's not necessarily a left winger. He plays like a left forward, if that makes sense. And he's still up top, but slightly on the left. Now, end of the day, he scored a goal and it worked. And you won't. He scored. No. He scored a goal. So that means that no one's gonna say anything now.
Yeah.
No one's gonna say anything. And he may go on. We got Aston Villa leads to come in the league. If he scores in those 2 games, no one's gonna say anything because he's not in his position. There weren't clear-cut chances in the game whatsoever. Now maybe him being in the middle could have created it, but. No, I mean for the strikers, for Lacazette, maybe at that one he could have swung it, he missed it, but there wasn't for the striker. There wasn't.
Yeah, it's not like the Leicester game where Lacazette had a header, and you're like, if Aubameyang was there, he would have scored it, for example.
Yeah,
he didn't necessarily have that. No, I heard that.
Whereas playing Saka with Aubameyang, Willian, and Lacazette, as I said before, just gives you another attacker. So it means that we've got 4 attackers rather than you take out Lacazette, you put Aubameyang in the middle, you put Saka on the left, and then you got Tierney left wing back. It's not. Yeah. It gives us another attacker going forward.
I do hear that. I just think I still believe a player with his goal scoring ability, he doesn't get enough touches in the box to make the most use of it. So it's like, I think they said this season he's got 8 shots, Lacazette's had 8, and Saka's had 11. So from one game to the next, yes, but he scored 1 goal in the league from open play. And that was an absolute brilliant curler from outside the box. Like, you can't bank on that game after game after game. Even the goals that he scored in one of them he scored in the FA Cup was fine. It was a back post. But there was another one, I'm sure, when he broke, I think it was a deep where they broke deep anyway. And it's like you're asking him to do a lot to then actually score the goal, as opposed to we'll force your best man in the box and you score. Oh, today no one's going to say anything. But if you don't score against, I don't know, who's your next game before international break?
Villa.
Or your Villa. If you don't score against Villa and say you lose the game or draw the game, then it's going to come up again. I understand what you're saying. In terms of this system, this 3-4-3, you can get 4 attackers by having him out there and Saka. But maybe against, let's say, lesser sides, there's a way to play where you can put him through the middle and still have 4 attackers. But in terms of today, I mean, you can't complain. It worked. You created chances, even if they didn't all fall to Aubameyang. You created chances, and where he's positioned and where he's playing obviously must have something to do with that.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, I was going to say, and he almost got to the back post for Bellerin's cross, being in that position. If he just made a run earlier, he would have got a tap in.
If he was a striker, yeah. Laurie Neeks, Mikel Impossible looks like he has a spine. Gabriel Thomas and Elneny were immense. I was surprised about Elneny started. I thought Xhaka would have started.
Yeah, that's what I said in my thing. I don't think Tobias would start, but I thought he would go with Xhaka and Partey. But the funny thing is, with Elneny, yeah, because he's not Xhaka, and Xhaka likes to hold the ball, maybe try to play over the top, try to play the long ball, try to look for a man. Because Elneny ain't got that. He keeps everything simple. He just is maybe a bit like Fred. He just chases down, gets the ball passed. Chases down, gets the ball passed. Nothing fancy. Doesn't try to cut in. Doesn't try to look for the over the top ball. It's just do it. And I actually said this. I spoke to my cousin before the game, and I said, and with Elneny, I don't feel like he's going to make a mistake. I don't feel like he's going to do nothing spectacular, but I think he's going to do his job. And today he just done his job. Whereas Partey went above and beyond for me. He won every ball. He was chasing back. He was driving forward. He was finding the passes. It was like he was the guy. Elneny allowed him to just do his thing, and then he just doing the simple things.
That was a proper central midfield performance. You know, you got all these. I'm a cam. I'm a 6. I'm a this. I just said wherever you need me to be, I'm gonna be there.
It's true.
So if I'm gonna press, I'm a press. If I'm a sit, I'm a sit. If I'm gonna drive forward and play a ball, or I'm a shoot. I'm gonna have a shot. Like he said, he got the only shot. He got Arsenal's only shot on target from open play. He just was everywhere doing everything. And listen,
there was that funny exchange in the second half when I think Partey won the ball from Pogba, and then Pogba won it back, and then Partey went back and won the ball back from Pogba and took it and drove us on.
I'm like, all right, Pogba, yes, win that back. Let's do. Partey said, nah, not today.
He came back. He came back, and it was like that all game. And Gabriel as well. I mean, I know you said at the start of the season you hope this guy doesn't do well, man, because who is this guy? No one knows who he is. But I mean, he was on it. He was on job today, man. Yeah. He could have been sent off.
On Greenwood.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been mad if it was a second yellow, to be honest.
I think he got away with it because in between the yellow and that challenge, there was no really other misdemeanors.
Yeah.
If he had got, say, another tackle and that was like the last straw, I think that's why I got away with it. But yeah, you're right. Like when the way my D was marching over there.
When you saw
go on.
When you saw the replay as well, I think if Mike Dean sees that on a replay, you might think because it looked worse on the replay. I thought it was like a clip or whatever, but actually
he was bend him up through his legs.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you know what's funny? At that point, I'm like, if he got sent off, I was sitting there like, we still ain't gonna win this game. So whatever. Like I wasn't. It's not like it was 20 minutes in 0-0. Yeah, send him off. Oh whatever. If we got a sign out of the game, lucky. Yeah. Let's go through a couple of comments before we get out of it. What are you saying?
For me, I take a panic towards the end though, boy.
All the defenders.
Boy, I mean, Nketiah was a good one for Lacazette.
Yeah.
Maitland-Niles was horrific when he came on. It was like he was trying to prove something. He was losing the balls, giving away fouls. One right at the end, when Nketiah passed it to him, he just didn't do nothing with it. He lost it, and then it could have been a counter attack on a goal, and then everyone would have got on his neck. And then Mustafi coming on for Aubameyang was like, all right, cool, all hands on deck. I've seen that happen before, and I've seen us concede. So I weren't confident about that last 10 minutes. Tell you that.
Oh yeah, man. We just we just lacked. We just lacked. I think first half for me, we were too slow and ponderous. And to be fair, we weren't that much high tempo in the second half. But even when we were controlling the game, so the first 20 minutes, I'm still looking like, all right, let's do something. It's not like I'm like, all right, a goal's coming, a goal's coming. It's like, all right, now we're just not under pressure. Arsenal not doing anything. What are we gonna do? Let's do something with the ball now. Let's do something with the ball now, and we don't do nothing with the ball. Like that's like it just wasn't a good performance. It wasn't a good performance. The first half, in terms of tactically, and CT says, "Oh, Neeks, your boys got school today." Tactically, Arteta bossed that first half. Second half was, and you look at even statistically, it was 50-50 possession. Like I think Arsenal had 52, we had 48, but we created that one chance from a quick free kick. So that tells you everything. Arsenal bossed that first half tactically. With your, we've got the diamond and we didn't have enough width. Second half, I think we changed to the correct formation, and we controlled the first 15-20 minutes, but we just didn't do enough. And you got the goal, and we still didn't do enough. Like, where's the urgency? Bring on subs. We still didn't do enough. I did feel I would have actually made a sub at halftime. I would have brought on Van der Beek straight as soon as for the second half straight away.
Van the bench.
Yeah, Van der Beek. I would have brought him on. I would have brought him on straight away because I just felt we weren't retaining the ball in the middle, and his ball retention is probably one of his. He moves off the ball, but that's one of his best assets. When I saw him playing at number 10 against Leipzig, every time he got the ball, wherever he picked up the ball, he kept it. He kept it and made the right pass. Whereas today, let's say all of our mistakes. Let's be honest. The 4 midfielders that started today could not string a pass together. All 4 of them could not string a pass. So I would have made a substitution at half time. But when we changed the formation, I was like, cool, he don't have to make it now. Could he have made it? Let me just check. Did he make it? Did he make a sub before the goal? Let me just double check that.
Matic, I think, was on. I think Matic was on.
Before the goal. Yeah, Matic came on for Fred. So that was cool. I was like, all right, we didn't make a change then. All right, fair enough. You changed the formation. Now you brought on Matic. I'm like, cool. So he's going to give a bit more solidity and allow what's his name? McTominay to push forward as a box to box. And 7 minutes later, we concede the stupid penalty. It's a ridiculous penalty. We got away with it in the first half, and then you just give it. You say, "Oh, sorry, I know Arsenal, you missed the chance. All right, we'll give you the easiest one of the day." Like, make them score the goal because clearly they're struggling to do it. Clearly, they're creating chances they did against Leicester, and we got LCFC Boyer, Leicester fan, that he learned from being done by Brendan's tricky Blues. I mean, we gained in the penalty. They missed all the same chances, probably even more in the Leicester game than against us. But what the difference is, we didn't give them a penalty. You didn't give them a penalty. We gave because, and I guess in this game you were never going to fly forward like you did against Leicester because you're at home. So you're always going to keep a certain amount of people at the back. But we got away with it. We literally got away with it in the first half, and we just said, "Nah, Arsenal, you deserve this. There, have that." I'm not happy with that, man. I'm not happy with that at all.
It was just weird, man. It was just weird.
I haven't got the updated league table up, but obviously you predicted Man United to win that game 2-0. Arsenal won 1-0. So when we do the Ramsey versus Arsenal, we'll put it up for your next Arsenal Premier League review. So that will be after just before the international break, after your Villa game. It looks like the points will be a bit closer because you weren't expecting much from the boys, and your boys came through today, I guess.
I didn't think they were going to do it personally. I know these away games. I know them. I just know what we're like. So surprise me.
But yeah, listen, this is Man United, and I've been saying it, and I'm not happy to be right, but this is why I can't be. I said in the prison, I predict we're going to win because why would I predict we're going to lose to a team who hasn't won away at Big Six since 2015? Haven't won at Old Trafford since 2006. We've won with worse teams in the past. We're on a good run of form. Arsenal aren't. Why would I predict a win as a loss? However, I don't expect anything from this team because we can do this. We can beat Leipzig 5-0. We can beat PSG.
Yeah.
And then we can draw with Chelsea and lose to Arsenal. And yes, Chelsea and Arsenal are good teams, good play, better than Newcastle, for example, and the Palaces and the Brightons that we played already. But PSG and Leipzig are no mugs. So you're like, if you can go away there and then at home and beat those teams, why are you putting such pathetic performances? Credit to Arsenal. They made a lot of those players look bang average. But I still feel that regardless of that, you have to show your quality. You have to say, all right, Partey's on job. What can I do so he's not bossing this midfield? What can I do? And there just wasn't enough. There wasn't enough from these players. The league table as it stands, where Arsenal are now up to eighth. 12 points after 7 games. So you're just 4 points off the top. Man United are still 15th after 6 games, 7 points, 6 points off the bottom. So yeah, that's where we're right now. And our next games are not simple. Our next game before the international break is not easy. We've got Everton away. That is not going to be an easy game. Fortunately, Richarlison's out, but Dini's going to be back. But it's not going to be an easy game based on how the Premier League's gone so far, how Everton are performing. But maybe we haven't won a game at home since we beat Bournemouth 5-2 in the Premier League. We drew Southampton, drew West Ham at the end of the season. We've lost to Palace, lost to Spurs, drew Chelsea, lost to Arsenal.
So maybe you need a crowd, yeah?
Clearly. But when we go away, maybe we can get a result. Well, we beat Brighton away, we beat PSG away, we beat Luton and Brighton again in the cup. We beat Newcastle away. We come home and we can't even string 2 passes together. Like, it wasn't good, man. It was a poor performance. Looking forward, I said we got Istanbul, Başakşehir, and Everton away. I'm expecting a win against Başakşehir. Everton, no idea what we're gonna do. But we need to get back to winning ways first and foremost, because you don't want to end up on a rut. We knew this month was always going to be a bit tough, but after certain results, PSG, Leipzig, you want to get a win against an Arsenal or a Chelsea, and we failed to do that. So the Everton game, regardless of the Istanbul result, the Everton game is going to be massive for us. What are you saying about your 2 games coming up?
Yeah, well, we're kind of the opposite. We're obviously coming back off a win today, after a tough run of games we've just had. So, we've had the Man City Liverpool game out the way. We've now beaten United. Now we've got to go. Now we also have to go and keep the run going. So we've got Mulder in the week. I expect to beat them. Even if we lose to that, Europa League is so bad. I don't think it's massive there. But the big game is Villa. Beat Villa before the international break. For me, that's the big one. To carry this on, the form on in the Premier League, and then we got a good 2 weeks off to just reset and go again. Then it's a mad run of games, isn't it? Because this is the last international break before till March, so it's bam, Europa League, League Cup, League, Europa League. It's all the way through now.
It's 2 games a week, right up until I haven't gone much further.
March,
but I know right up until March.
Yeah, there's no winter break. There's no winter break.
Oh, there's no winter break, nothing.
No, they cancelled it this year. Yeah, they cancelled it. So it's all the way through. So and obviously we're both still in the League Cup, so we don't even have that week off. So it's go all the way after this international break. So yeah, we need to get the win next week, and then looking forward, we can see what we can do, man. I still don't know where we're going to finish. I still don't know. This may be
early in the season. I think. Yeah. By the time we hit December, I think you can really look and say what kind of season we're going to have, because you played maybe 10, 12 games by then. You can see what's going on. We'll end on this one. Footage, and it says Pogba haters need to chill. He just needs the right teammates, manager, length of pitch, grass, weather conditions, and a proper trim. Season 5 of the Unlucking is well underway. And, obviously, I know it's in jest. There's going to be some excuses for certain people's favorite players. For me, there's no excuses for anyone out there. And that's right from manager to player. Of course, some players are not at fault. David De Gea, I mean, he didn't deserve to be on the losing side. They did anything wrong. But it's a team game. And nobody can come off that pitch and say, you know what, we were unlucky today. The referee this or the referee that. Mike didn't have a good game. I don't even like talking about referees because, this 6 of one, half a dozen another. Arsenal play better. Arsenal deserve to win. Arteta, 2 games, 2 wins against Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's beaten all the big teams since he's been, I think other than Spurs, since he's been at Arsenal. And we'll see if Arsenal can kick on from here and, you know, achieve their aspiration when they're looking for top 4. And we'll see if Man United can pick themselves back up after what I'm still calling, regardless, I'm calling an absolutely disgraceful loss. Absolutely disgraceful. Guys, make sure you hit the like button. Please smash that like button right now. Hit the subscribe button if you are new to the channel, you haven't done so. Turn the notifications on. Comment below. Let me know all your thoughts of the game and, you know, Arsenal, Arteta, Solskjaer, and Man United overall. And I'll see you lot soon.